Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to see that so many of you are here today and interested in hearing about how to establish business relationships in this new and weird normal. So first,
Exactly.
let's briefly go through some technical stuff. You are all muted, and this is to prevent having a lot of noise in the background. But we want to interact with you, so please type any questions anytime in the box in front of you, and we will address them later on during the Q&A session. And all right, so let's start by introducing ourselves. So my name is Nelia Chelius, and I work as a growth manager at Cloudity in the Nordic region. And basically, I take care of some marketing activities and business development activities. And I really enjoy this topic, and I love to talk about how to combine technology and the human specialties. So I think this is where the magic happens, and I hope that you will feel that today, and also that you can ask yourself some questions related to how you work within your organization with this combination. And with me today, I have my dear colleague Justina. So Justina, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Justyna Jezierska and greetings from the Warsaw office where I'm right now. On a daily basis, I work at Digital Advisory Department. So I work with our clients on creating digital transformation strategies. And one of the subjects that we were working on with our clients recently was building and developing the units called business development centers at our clients.
Thank you, Justina. Yes, so shortly, just let us explain who we are at Cloudity. So Cloudity is a almost 7-year-old IT company, and we are also called, or we are a Salesforce Platinum consulting partner. And what is that, you may ask? So it's not crystal clear to everyone, even though we like to brag about it. But it means that we are a very trusted partner when it comes to implementing Salesforce technology and giving digital advice and working with change management after company specific needs and requirements. So to summarize that, we tailor make and we customize Salesforce applications to match your specific needs. And this is a super cool and fun job, and to be able to participate in so many change processes all the time and watch how other people and other company grow. And the best part in that is that when you grow as a customer, we grow as well. So that's a mutual interest that we have. Anyways, so we are operating in 3 countries. No, we're operating in whole Europe and also some parts of the world, but we have 3 offices. So one in Stockholm, where I'm currently sitting, one in Warsaw, where Justina is sitting, and also one office in Berlin. And today we are about 150 people at Cloudity, and we have implemented over 400 implementations so far in over 25 countries. So I think that's enough about us for now, and I think we can dive into today's session, where the goal is to go to, yeah, Justina, you can start.
Yeah, let's briefly tell you what we were going to talk about. So let's talk about the agenda. So at the beginning, we'll share with you the results of the survey that we shared on the event via LinkedIn, and some of people that attended the event participated in that survey. So we are very excited to share the results and analysis with you.
Yes. And then we will elaborate more on the actual definition of business development and what are the most important aspects of the area. And based on that definition, we will want to set these important aspects for growing your business in general, and we will try to figure out how to generate quality leads in this new normal.
Yeah, and thirdly, since we are a technology company, as we mentioned, we'll put another layer on this theoretical or more business view of business development, and we'll try to figure out how technology tools from Salesforce ecosystem can actually help you establish and build relationships through digital channels in new normal. And last but not least, technology is of course not everything, and we'll tell about building, that business development is about building relationships. So we'll give you tips based on our experience, how to build and motivate the best team that would help you win and convert new customers.
Yes. So as Justina mentioned, I'm seeing a lot of new people, so I'm just bringing it up again. We sent out a survey in the LinkedIn event that some of you or many of you answered. So let's see what you answered. And Justina, I know that you have analyzed the results of the survey, and I'm happy to hear the interesting analysis that you have conducted.
Yeah, so first question that we asked was about how people, business development managers and sales managers, used to establish their new relationships before COVID. And this is the left column, this marine color. And the second question was about how do people establish their business relationships right now. So the very first thing that we noticed from the results, and this is obvious and everyone sees it, that on-site presence has disappeared. But it used to be a very important way of setting up your business relationships. Secondly, social media were already present when it comes to building relationships with your clients and building your brand awareness, which proves that B2B customers tend to bring their B2C habits into the business world. So they are very, they really need to have a very good experience, a very seamless experience, also with the B2B companies that they work with. So thirdly, during COVID, the importance of online channels, the paid channels, has grown in importance, but it's growing slowly because probably, and this is what we get a lot from our clients and from our experience, people, the teams in business development are only developing such skills. So the business development units need to adjust their operating model to the new reality, but it's happening slowly. The second question was about the difficulties in growing and maintaining sales due to COVID. And although, and it shows on the right side of the graph, we do have tools for doing that. So no one said that the difficulty is lack of the tools to bring your people to your online reality, or lack of the tools out there on the market. But what is interesting, people are still complaining that there is no physical contact with the clients. So they are looking at the old processes in the new normal. But the point is that the old reality can never go back. So we need a totally new approach for our business development. And last but not least, people that we work with, our partners, our clients, are more conscious about making long-term investments, and our sales processes are getting longer. So we should focus, this is a proof that we should really focus on building strong relationships with our clients. And we really do need proper tools, proper processes for that in order not to lose our hot opportunities. And always be ready to go back to the negotiations because the relationships are strong and we have everything recorded in our digital tools, what had happened before. So that was how you feel, how our clients feel, people that we talk to. So now let's start with the most important question, because all of the people can have a bit different understanding. Nelly, if you could tell us, what is actually business development?
Okay, yes, Christina, it's a great question, and it depends on who you ask. So, of course, so a couple of weeks ago, I had many 20 minutes inspirational meetings with other people working with business development. And that was great. So I recommend doing the same with the thing that you work with and the title that you have. But the interesting thing was that it turned out very much different than I thought. So business development is not only very broad, but to my opinion is also that it's a bit misunderstood. So I met people working with business development with different backgrounds. Some of them, many of them, especially here in the Nordic region, had a background in finance. So they've been working in finance for a long time. And some of them have been working with growth marketing and studying growth marketing. And then we had a group of people, sales guys and girls, working as head of sales. And so the paths are very different, leading into business development. But what often was common concerns the organization's vision, goal, strategy, tactics, and of course the operational development phase with the subsequent analysis. So we often talk about business development when a new company is started in renewal processes, during crisis as this one today, or when it comes to creating strategic partnerships. And today, many modern companies, they pursue continuous business development in order to remain competitive in their markets. And so do we as Cloudity, and that's more and more common.
So what is your definition? How you perceive business development?
Yes. So if you ask me, I would say, of course, that it's all of the things I already mentioned, and the definition that you can Google. But it's the most important part is about adapting to change and to be able to build and nurture the relationships with your prospects, customers, and partners. So I would say that the relationship is the most important part. And one business development manager from a very well-known company that I spoke to, he mentioned that he today gets 8 outbound messages on LinkedIn each day and email. That's
So
8.
yeah, I think that is a lot, and that's one of the problems in the B2B relationships, that we are a bit flooded with information right now. So what do we need to consider when we approach people?
Yes, and this is a good question. And here is one area where business development comes in, and it's important. I will not speak about it a lot, but it's just an example of that we need to rethink and we need to adapt to the change. So we cannot have like every company sending thousands of emails and messages to the same decision makers with the same kind of structure and body of the email as we do today. So we have to rethink this process a bit. And this is a challenge because we know that the physical experience is linked with generating trust. It's about avoiding misunderstandings, sharing knowledge. So it's hard without a role model or someone that you are meeting every day, it's hard to share knowledge, right? And getting inspiration. And I think that you all can feel that we've been forced to re-evaluate and reimagine business models and reprioritize our investments. Which has led to digital transformation initiatives, and especially in sales and marketing. And one example that we will talk about today and get you through today is about our friend Jonas. And Jonas is a car dealer, and he's used to having his customers coming from the streets in his store, especially on weekends. And his sales cycle took about 4 hours, which is quite a lot for a car dealer. And a lot of that had to do with verification, information, loans, communication with the bank, test driving the car, and so on. So when Corona hit Jonas in March, he was forced to renew his business model. And after renewing his model, he's now today driving the car to your door at your house, so where you can test drive the car from home, and it's extremely convenient.
Yeah.
Yes,
So Jonas seems to really learn the lesson, right? And kind of trying to change the processes of his work in the new normal.
that's true. And he, in order to get there, he needed to ask himself, what can I do to find my customers, right? So before he started driving to your door, he needs to find you as a customer. And we will talk more about the journey with Jonas. I know that Justina is gonna take you through some technical parts of his journey. And but before there, before we go there, I want to take you through some statistics here. So EBM found that due to the pandemic, 73% of B2B CMOs, they say that they are now shifting promotional activities online, which is not a surprise. And it's exactly the result that we got from the survey as well. And research by Harvard shows that new customers can cost up to 25 times more to convert than existing customers, which is a lot. And that's indicating that it's much easier to expand and build on existing loyalty that it is to tap into new client base, especially during this time.
So
And
why is that? So how can we solve that? I mean, how can we use this analysis to actually improve our business development?
yeah, fair question. So of course it's important to convert new customers, not saying that. It's crazy important, but we also need to take a look at the existing customers that we have. Who are they? And identify them. And also, how can we reduce time on on the new ones? What is costing us so much? So working as an implementation partner and giving digital advice and working with business development, we might meet a lot of people in this panic mode. And that is when companies, they want to change their CRM and make huge changes fast, like tomorrow. And then we often get the first question is often, what can we do to grow fast?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this,
that's
yeah,
the very general question that we get a lot. Yeah.
yes, and it's a very hard and broad question to answer. So we cannot answer this question the same to everyone. And first we ask the question back. So what does it mean for you to grow? And it often ends up for example, we want to double our income, or we want brand awareness, or we want to be able to hire more people. And actually, the more answers that we get asking that question, the happier I am,
Right.
because uh, the one thing is that it's never just one thing. And I will refer to Tiffany Bova here when I talk about this. So there is not only one way of growing, and there is not only one growth path. So Tiffany says that a lot of companies are focusing on finding this one thing that will make them grow. But most growth efforts can be categorized into 1 out of 10 different growth paths. And she also mentions that it's not enough to have the right growth strategy only. So companies must fully understand what the current market is about and find the market context, and that's prior to making any moves. Otherwise, even though you have the right position, it can backfire and put you in the wrong place at the wrong time. So as you mentioned before, Justina, now we can see that the attendees today are already using a lot of tools, which is great. But it's worth thinking about this when the world is constantly changing and the technology is changing so rapidly. Do you have the tools that are updated, that are flexible, that are scalable, and that are easy to combine with your everyday work? And
So, yeah, how would you summarize that? So what is the most important?
yes, so I think I would summarize it by saying that business development is and should be dynamic. It's not a fixed state. And another question that we often get is, how do we fill our pipeline and increase sales? And of course, it's good to fill our pipeline and have a full pipeline, because a full pipeline to many people means more potential to sell. But it's not about having anything or anyone in the pipeline. So it's time consuming and expensive to convert new customers. And you can probably imagine how expensive and time consuming it is to work on cold leads that will kill the deal slowly. So it's not the same thing to have a full pipeline. If we move, yes. And then we also get the question, how can we find leads? And I want to change this question. So I want to change it to how can we find the right leads? And then I want to add, how can we get the right leads to find us as well? And one guy that I spoke with not long ago, he had 1,500 customers 2 years ago. And after changing their strategy, they today have only 500 in 2 years. So he often gets the reaction, why is that? What happened? And then he answers, well, we doubled our revenue even under Corona. And what is this about? So this is about the famous Pareto principle. So I think you all heard about it before, but it means that, or it states that 20% of your effort leads to 80% of your result. And Perry Marshall, who wrote this book, it's a great book, he calculated that 4 people of our target group genes 64% of the company's revenue. And that means that the company that I was talking about, for example, they reduce their customer base to the customers that they know will generate the most money.
What we should do having this knowledge?
Yes, so a simple answer. We need to find those 4%. We need to identify those 4%, and we also need to find their twins. And so how do we build trust through technology, and how do we avoid these misunderstandings without having the physical contact? How do we share knowledge without being able to see each other? And to answer those questions and make it easy to follow, we will go back to the example about Jonas, the car dealer, and we want to look at his journey and see how business development can support him. So this is one angle of it. And to do so, we go back to the first question, where are my customers? That was the first thing he needed to ask himself, right? So let's go into lead generation. So the first step is about building awareness about Jonas' products and services and finding leads. And not only leads, he wants to find the right leads, he wants to find the leads with highest probability and of high conversion, and he also wants the leads to get back to him, to find him, or find him first, and is the best case. And then after finding his leads, Jonas needs to be able to qualify and disqualify his leads. And this is where we move to the prospect and lead stage. So he wants to be able to see which one are the most important to him, and he wants to know which one he should nurture and how he should nurture them. He wants to know how to convert them and how to speed up the sales process, because that's a problem for him. He needs to have a shorter sales cycle. And then when the leads are qualified, we know that we have someone interested enough to convert this lead to an actual opportunity. We go to opportunity and deal stage. So this is most of the cases when the sales department takes over the lead from the business development team, and the business development representative are there to develop the relationship and with the prospecting client. So now the sales team can close this deal. And to get deeper into this and actually talk about the digital journey, Justina, in order for Jonas to find those 4% important customers, what is the first step that Jonas needs to take to capture those clients that are not coming from the street anymore?
Yeah, so let's go back to this model sales pipeline that we built for you. So we are presenting here the most common 5 stages on a sales pipeline. So from people that we don't know to the people that are actually our clients. And along the way of this journey, there are different types of activities that actually Jonas or any business development representative could actually work on while communicating with his client. So yeah, let's start with the clients that we don't know yet. We need to somehow find them online, and Jonas need to let them know that he has the cars, especially for those clients. And based on data, we should definitely use the data here that we definitely gather in our systems. We should look at our previous customers of Jonas, and we should know what we should group them into segments in order to later on target the different kinds of content to good segments and to the best customers in those segments, the 4% that Nelly was talking about. And since we already have them, the best, the champions of our segments, then we can target them with dynamic content. So even on our landing pages, people that are coming and they are assigned to segment A, for example, family cars, owners, people with big families, they will be receiving accordingly the content. But for example, sport cars enthusiasts, they will receive the information about the newest features of super fast sport cars. But at the end of the journey, we always want to encourage our people, especially in B2B setup, to leave us their data. Because even though, I mean, using the marketing automation tool, we somehow know the people based on their IP, but only from the very first visit, but only if they leave us the data and they agree on the communication, then we can target them even better and we can put them more effectively on their customer journeys and approach them more personally. So from targeting good customers using our paid media based on our data to encouraging them to come to our landing pages and then giving them the dynamic content adjusted to that segment, then we can get to know our customers and we can put them into the customer journeys.
So yeah, so why is it important to get personal details when we already are able to target these clients in paid media and adjust the website to their needs?
Yeah, for example, we can create customer journeys for those people, and we can, for example, organize an informative program about different types of cars. And segments defined as family car enthusiasts would receive information about unique features of their cars, or sport car enthusiasts would get super interesting information about the latest capabilities from the market. And in this way, Jonas would position himself as a trusted source of information, as an expert when it comes to different types of cars for different segments. And also,
okay, so this is very interesting. But I saw that you, on the previous slide, that we had a number of 7 to 10 days. So how often should Jonas send these emails? This is the golden number.
Yeah, I mean, as you were talking before, so first of all, we need to have a very well-tailored content to our customers, and we can flood our customers with that content. So the customer journeys can be very agile, and they can adjust to the people along the way. So depending on their interest in our content, the emails should be sent every 7 to 10 days. Another thing is we can organize online events. So for example, Jonas can actually take their clients on a ride and broadcast it online. And that's also another way of gaining contacts, because we know that there are people much more interested in buying such a car because they devoted time for this online event. And of course, using technology, after that we can report on everyone who has participated, how engaged he or she was, and what types of materials she or he received before and after webinar or online event, and how whether she or he has actually downloaded it and opened them. So then we have the question how to qualify leads without technology.
Yeah, so we have gathered the prospects now, and we provided them with content, right? So how can we know which leads to focus on?
Yeah, so this is exactly what Nelly was talking about before, because we first of all we gather the base of our clients, and then what we want to do is to be able to focus our efforts and the time of our team, which is of course limited, on the ones that are the most prospective. And in most of the cases, it is about the 4% of our database. So we use scoring, lead scoring for that, and in this way we evaluate the lead potential based on data gathered about these leads from the very first visit on our website. For example, transactional data. So what is the budget of their project, how much time they need to implement it, or when they want to buy the car, what kind of car they want to buy, and whether they are the decision makers about these cars, whether they do keep the budget or they are just looking around. And second of all, for our scoring, we can also use the behavioral data. Behavioral data is everything about clients' behavior on our website. So number of downloaded materials or engagements during the event. And we, on top of that, we can put artificial intelligence on that, and artificial intelligence can compare the historical data of those customers or the customers that are similar and give us the recommendations what we should do and adjust the scoring accordingly regarding the probability of closing the deal with these clients.
So why is this important?
So yeah, it's about prioritization of efforts. We can also automate our actions. Also, to make it even more effective, the prioritization of our efforts, we can put our leads into some kind of journeys. This is called high velocity sales. So if we contact if we have our lead, and for example, with someone with a low score, what we do, we send them an email. And if someone clicks into the link, opens the email and clicks into the link, then we can adjust the score accordingly, because most probably that person is interested in our services or products. So then for this high scored customer, we can make a call. So we can devote the time of our team, which is limited, to actually start building the relationship with that person.
This is right? This is the combination that we talked about in the beginning. The combination of using the human touch and specialities with the technology, right?
Yeah.
To know what kind of leads that you want to focus on the most.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. So then, when we already know what this person, the behavioral data about this person, we know what kind of materials this person has downloaded, what kind of knowledge probably this person already has about our services. And we also know what every activity that has been performed about this lead. Then, before making a call, we can achieve better planning and enforce our closing strategies on transaction. But we also can be very well prepared for that call. So we can have a more meaningful conversation, so even strengthen the relationship even more, and we would save our time in educating someone about the topics that he or she already knows. So let's move to the last part, so strengthening and developing our relationships with our people that are already on the bottom of our sales funnel, so people that are very close to making a transaction, or our base of our current clients.
Yes. So we mentioned at the beginning that the sales cycles, they're getting longer, and you said that you're feeling this challenge too. So thanks to this view that we call the 360 view at a sales opportunity, so you can track the stage of a deal and information is gathered there. So whenever you need to go back to the opportunity, you can remind yourself of the history of the process. And I actually have a personal relationship to this. When I started Cloudity, it was really good for me. And if people are changing jobs, or if you're recruiting new ones, to be able to be updated on every record, so you don't have to ask. And especially now when you're working a lot from home, you don't need to ask all the people that you're working with about getting updated. So the information is already there. But in general, it's also important to have closing strategies for each deal, right?
Yeah. So this is, as you mentioned, the 360 view on a opportunity, and here you can gather all of the data about this potential deal and also achieve better planning. So you can have the closing strategy on each opportunity and those guidance for success to make sure that the most of the deals that you have started I will actually end up with a closed deal, with a one deal.
What I also experienced myself, so the time to submit an offer is important in this competitive environment that we have. So
Yeah. That's true. We can use, because the time for submitting an offer, because if someone already wants to continue the conversations with us, and this is what the sales department does in most of the cases, we can use a couple of automations to streamline this process. So first of all, quotes can be automatically generated from dynamic templates. Those templates can be different based on different attributes, and you can send this contract directly to your client, and it will be recorded on that 360 view. So the notification will be sent to the client or via email, and all of those documents will be assigned to one customer once they are assigned. Another thing is that you can generate the contracts from templates and also sign them using the online tool. And as the result, one person can work on much more quotes and contracts and generate them quickly. So you can use the time of that person as effectively as possible, also keeping a high quality of delivered materials, which is also very important in today's competitive world.
Yeah. So I think let's go back to Jonas. He managed to sell the car and he closed the contract, and in a paperless way, so it's good for the environment. And so how can he keep in touch with the clients to offer them other services, yearly inspection, for example?
Yeah, so do you remember the customer journeys from our presentation? So definitely we can use them also at this stage, and we can put our clients into an upsell program because I understand our purpose is to provide existing clients with information and incentives to use more of Jonas's products and services. So huge benefit of engaging more personally with our clients that we have is that instead of starting with a cold lead, we are already working with people that we already know.
Yeah. So how often should we contact the current clients?
Yeah, so this, the frequency of sending emails or sending the information in this case shouldn't be so often. So it would be around every second week, because the target lead includes our current clients. So the timing is less aggressive in this context. So, but you also need to be very intentional with your content. So again, dividing your clients into segments and sending relevant information for every specific segment. You remember family cars versus sport car enthusiasts. So there are totally different types of clients. And yeah, it would be very beneficial that everyone receives something that he or she is really interested in.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
That's a great example about the technology part and how it can support the business development part at each sales pipeline stage. But now to the question, how do you make this work without the team and the human touch?
Yeah, definitely. We do need a great team to actually make it all work. So, as we mentioned at the beginning, business development is about building quality and long-lasting relationships. And what is very important here, you need to build those relationships to actually win the high potential group of your clients, the 4%. So firstly, when you start thinking of a business development team and when we work on with our clients during our strategy projects, it's about organizational structure. You need to ask yourself, what is the appropriate size of the team to handle the funnel? I mean, the structure of the funnel that you already have in place in your business. So knowing how many people you need to have for your business development representatives positions, then you can decide on the span of attention of each manager or coordinator without that team. So normally the more repetitive tasks the people that are managed, the more repetitive tasks they make, the more people one manager can take care of. And if those processes are complex and the services and products that you sell are very complicated and advanced, then one manager can take care of less people in one team. And then it's about the path, the career path. So you need to decide how you motivate your people to grow. And you need to make it clear what is the path that they can actually develop at. So from being the business development representatives working on those initial stages of the sales funnel, then maybe they can become managers within business development, or they can move to more sales roles. And this is also important to define. But also the division between what actually business development does and what sales representatives do. This is important to define this division using, for example, a RACI matrix. So who is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed of the activities at each stage of the funnel.
Yeah, so this is something that I noticed in my meetings with other business development managers, that there's not always this clear difference between sales and business development representatives.
Yeah, so I have a question for you, Nana, right now, because you manage a business development department, so you're the expert. So what types of skills do you look in for when you look in your candidates?
Yes, so if I would hire a BDR or someone working in the business development team, it's a great question. So that I like to answer. I would look for a very prestigious person, someone that has this extra eye for business. So if that person doesn't have like a long experience maybe in business development, it's still someone who's interested in general in business and is good in understanding different models and processes quickly. So in our case, of course, I would look for someone who's a bit tech savvy as well, but it should be about like having the mentality not to make, not afraid of making mistakes, easy to build relationships with other people, have a good way of communicating. So a lot of the job is about finding out a way to reach out to potential customers and understand their needs in an early stage. So it's a long process of building a long-term relationship. And of course, you can be the salesperson that just calls people all the time, but that's not the idea here. So the business development representative should be a person that doesn't scare people away in the first time you talk to that person. So it's the one making the relationship, creating the relationship to be able to pass it on to the sales guy later on, if it's a qualified lead or a qualified potential
Mhm.
deal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a very good insight. So since we already have our team on board with the proper skills that we need, then our managers need the tools to manage the people that they have inside the team. And of course, technology can help you do that effectively. So as a manager, you can build your custom dashboards where you can see the targets for your entire team. They can be either based on the volume of deals, their quality, or the number of new leads brought to the company. So the targets can be different, or there could be a combination of those three. And secondly, you can have the overview of the entire sales funnel. So you can see how many leads there are at each stage and look at the detail of each lead when you dive deeper into the report. And you can also see how every team member in your team is actually performing. So how many leads they have on each stage, and maybe they need support, or maybe they are far from their target from KPIs, and you can quickly try to find out why is that happening.
Yeah. And I believe, so I'm using that dashboard a lot, and I also, exactly as you want to show now. So I believe that business development representatives have insights to their own dashboards as well. So.
Yeah, that's true. And for BDRs, yeah, it's important to know, I mean, the state of completion of their sales target, the sales volume that they are already having, and maybe the activities they are performing on how many activities they need to perform towards the customers that they are assigned to. And also at homepage, you receive the tasks regarding the important customers, either created automatically from that high velocity sales tool that I mentioned at the beginning, or assigned to you by your managers.
Yeah, so it's also important, I think, you said highly customizable, but it's highly customizable. So you can just adjust this dashboard, right, to all the specific needs that you have according to your business.
Yeah, and another thing is about learning. So, yeah.
So here I had a question as well, because mentioning in the beginning when you don't work with people in the office as much. When I work with my BDRs, I would like them to be equipped with the knowledge that's needed to run a business. And how do we onboard and educate people in the team without seeing each other on an everyday basis?
Yeah, we can use two kinds of tools for that. So My Trailhead, those were two first pictures, and Knowledge Base. So My Trailhead is a learning experience platform, and based on the role or the industry your BDRs work with, they can have different plans for education, and they can actually learn in interactive and playful way on various contents. And also you can, this is playfully designed and this has a very good experience when you work with that, when you learn on this platform. You can collect badges and points that illustrate your progress, and also as a manager you can have insight into the progress of your team members. And Knowledge Base helps you find answers to the problems that you encounter along the way on your job. So when you have a new problem and you're not able to answer, I mean, first thing you do, having the knowledge base, is you look through the articles. And also the searching is much more easier because it's based on tags and algorithms, and it saves your time because you can find the answers yourselves. You don't have to ask someone else to solve the problem. You can solve it just on the fly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a lot of aspects to think about when we build or reconstruct the business development team in this new reality that we have. So you need to think a lot of things here, right? The size of the team, adjusted to the pipeline's volume, about the technology tools that can help us manage and motivate the team, as we talked about, the effective training plans to make the BDRs work independently and make them grow, make the team grow, of course. So how can I figure out all these answers and these questions if I have one or many of them right now?
Of course, we can as Cloudity, and because we have the consulting team also inside. So before any implementation, we can help you define the best processes and define the best team for your business development. So we can run a deep dive analysis divided into those 6 stages. And I am showing you the steps of that analysis right now. I mean, this is a sample framework. So first of all, we look at the processes that are already in place and try to figure out the ineffectivenesses in the current processes. Second of all, we work out the plan for creating and managing the team, its proper size, what I mentioned, what kind of tools are needed for effective management, what kind of dashboards are needed. The third step would be the definition of the sales processes. So we need to figure out how to find the proper 4% of our leads and how to guide them smoothly through each stage of the contact with our companies, and the best divisions between those, between the tasks of business development and the tasks of sales. And then we also should think about the MBOs, so management by objectives, bonus schema, so all of the aspects that would motivate your team to, first of all, I mean, help you reach your sales targets, I mean, sales goals, and second of all, to also the motivation for them to grow, for the team to grow. And also, we design the training and onboarding plans for your teams. And since we already have that process in place, confirmed with the company we work with, we can prepare a prototype of the solution in Salesforce so that you can see actually how your processes would work in your system. You can take a look at it, have a feel and look, and always adjust it in iterative way. And then if you're happy with that, if you're happy with the processes and the prototype of the system, we can start the implementation.
Great. Thank you, Justina. I think we got some questions. So I think it's time to answer them, and it's always good to stick around during these questions because sometimes we don't think about how it is for someone who hasn't seen the tool before. So these questions are often very relevant. There are no stupid questions. If you have any questions, type them now, so we will start addressing them. But are you ready to answer some questions?
Yeah. Let's read them first. Yeah.
Yes. So I think the first question we got quite early in your, when you talked quite early in the journey, Ellen is asking about the lead scoring part. So I think she needs some examples on how it could look like. So she asks, how do leads get scored and what activities are the scores depending on?
So for lead scoring, we can, I mean, one thing could be the kind of flat data. So we could use band model for that. So budget, authority, needs, and time. And we, I mean, every business development representative or sales representative has, I mean, those places where she or he should actually assess the client, the new client that he's talking with, on those dimensions. But that's more intuitive and based on the experience of the BDR. And we can also add another layer on that, so we can have the behavioral scoring. So any data that comes from your business, I mean, marketing automation tools. So you look, I mean, you can see, for example, that someone comes in your web page and this person is going directly into our products, and this person is looking at a specific product for quite a longer time. So this is a high probability that you can measure that this person is interested in this product. So another thing that we can score is, I mean, the behavior, I mean, the reaction of the material to the materials that we send to that person. So having those customer journeys, and you can see that someone is opening and clicking into some types of topics related to a service or product, then we can also adjust the score of this person, because also there's a high probability of that this person really needs this service or product.
Yeah, so one example that, because I see another question is a bit linked to this. So it's Liza is wondering about how to work with campaigns. So I can just give like an example between both of them. So for example, today, I mean, all of you participating in this event, if you have been leaving your data before, if you have seen other events that we have conducted, if you have asked about products before, if we've been in contact in other ways, it could possibly be so that you have a higher lead score. And of course, we would treat you differently in some way, because we know that you're interested in some way. So I think it's just for you, it's more convenient if you are that person, that the person reaching out to you has done his research about your company and about what you might be interested in before we approach you. So this is also a way we can work with campaigns in Salesforce, that we have these events and stuff like that we are being able to score the people in the campaigns and see what they potentially might be interested in to have right content for you. I also see that we have a really good question that I want to take before we need to wrap it up as well. So it's Jimmy asking about the integrations, and I know that we haven't touched this. So he's asking, can you integrate Salesforce and these what we showed today with other systems? And I think he means ERP systems. Do you want to answer that, Justina?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, Fortnox, I mean, I know this is a very popular tool in the Nordics, especially. So we have an open, I mean, we can, first of all, we can integrate with any open API, and it's pretty easy. And we have done that when it comes to connecting Salesforce with Fortnox for most of our Nordic clients. But also, we have a finished integration package for that. So, I mean, really, I mean, this is a technical question, very good, and there is really not a problem. We have done that. We know how to do it well and fast.
Thank you. So I think we have to leave the three last questions. I will reach out to you and answer them after, but I think we just have to wrap it up this last 2 minutes. So what I want to leave you with today is that it can be messy to build a business development team, but it doesn't have to be messy, and it can be very organized and well controlled as well. So a business development team is about testing, and no strategy lives forever. So it's a dynamic approach, and it should be dynamic, always adapting to the market that we are in currently. So when you look for digital tools, or if you look at the digital tools that you are using today, ask yourself, are you able to scale up and down with them? And are they updated to always fit the market? So business development is not the same as sales, even though we work very close to sales. So it's a new way of taking care of these relationships and learning how to spend the right kind of time on the right kind of people for your business to grow. So there are always some resistance in an organization. So you have to put the people as the most important part here. And ask yourself, have you looked at your company and how you could adapt and change from many different angles? So not just going with the path that you are right now, checking all the different opportunities out there and with this technology that is changing all the time. So I want to leave you with Tiffany Bova's saying that the most successful companies in the world, they are regularly changing direction, and they do it with confidence and coordination that it looks effortless. So this was an extremely general take and an overview of this topic. We touched Jonas' story as a car dealer, but maybe you feel right now that you couldn't relate to his challenges during this strange time, and maybe you're facing your own challenges. And if so, and if you're interested in how this might look like within your organization, we are happy to have a talk with you about that. So we sit down with people from all different industries often and look at your individual needs and requirements. And I think that was all from today. So please ask any questions if needed to. And otherwise, we will follow up. So thank you, Stina.
Thank you, Nene. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And hopefully, let's keep in touch. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Bye.